in television production, but I run a hedge fund, and
Cool.
my company is working on the development of a metaverse. So
Sure.
I was quite interested to come along here and meet some other people.
Yeah. Well, I run a social networking platform called Freeze Crowd, which is for students and alumni.
Do
So
you?
if you have an EDU email address, you can join the platform.
I'm afraid I do not. I am out
No
in
worries.
the private sector.
Yeah, so we're 11 years and up and running this year, and we have students from over the best hardware in the world and the best concept in
We
the
will be
world.
starting in
No
3
software
minutes.
for it. It's
3
not going
minutes.
to be anything.
Do we have any
fruitful and
questions?
broad.
I need
How
any
are
help.
you?
Please do not hesitate to ask someone wearing a
Cool. You've got
Going on?
a new addition to the digital
doing?
human, and you look
I've ended up taller than all of you folks.
You do seem exceptionally tall. A little higher than everybody else.
Are you standing up?
I'm sitting
in
down, but I
RL?
started sitting down.
Like something to
They're not actual avatars, so I mean they're
down there.
they're not. There's
There are some people that look
great, just so you know, we've hit over 50 people, so we are now at 2.
Place.
sorry.
Yes,
Good
event to attend.
Remember to put your megaphone on.
Hoodies.
How you doing, Allison? Allison, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do this too often, but no.
yes, I'm aware. I'm on loudspeaker right now. I think.
Yep, you are.
Space Needle.
All right. So it's a lot of heads. It's a lot of friendly faces, actually, people we already know. So first of all, for starters, I want to take a minute to thank everyone to be here today with us.
Okay.
I'm Terry Proto. I'm CEO of Virtual Reality Marketing. I always give my little intro, so some of you should be familiar. For the past few years, we've been on a mission to connect enterprises with leading XR creators. VirtualRealityMarketing.com is the largest showcase of immersive companies. We host more than 3,000 XR creators on our website. We've built over the years the largest library of AR and VR case studies with more than 500 plus case studies across all business verticals. We've got this cool community, and this whole event exists because we've the largest online XR community. It's a group called Reality Innovators Network on LinkedIn, and we're really proud that we are more than 67,000 members now, and we're also a business consultancy specialized in AR and VR. And really, our goal is really to be the guide to the business metaverse and inspire, educate, and facilitate immersive business. And one thing I always like to say also is that if you need help finding the right metaverse partner, or if you're in the industry and you want to share news about what you're working on, our audience of immersive professionals, we can help, and you should get in touch with us at hello@virtualrealitymarketing.com. And today, I want to give a few thanks to Michelle Deborah, who's over here with the red hats, and as well as the team of Red Cowboy hats, which are spread around the house, because all of these guys are making sure that everything is running smoothly for everyone today. I want to thank also Kevin Smith. I don't think Kevin has been able to make it today. The team of Spine as well for hosting us in their beach house. Spine is one of the most prestigious 3D visualization company. And the cool thing about this beach house that we are in today is that it's a house that actually exists. It's a house that's in Miami. The address is 135 Palm on one of the islands. And fun story is that this house, Spine has created the high definition visualization of the house that's perfectly photorealistic, and also a high definition VR version of the house, also perfectly realistic. That's great when you're using, very powerful PC hardware. But we're in the lower definition, versions that's compatible with more hardware, like the Quest that everyone is using. So it's not as perfect, but the cool story about this house is that it's a real house, it exists, and you can visit it in the real world. And I also want to very publicly wish a happy birthday to Sofia Moshasha, my co-host today. So, everyone take a minute to wish a birthday to Sofia.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
And about today's theme, from avatar to digital humans. Now, as you know, avatars are everywhere in the metaverse. Everyone on this beach, save for those two guys over there, avatars are real people, and they're how we choose to represent ourselves in a virtual world. And hi, oops. And most of the time they are very simplistic and cartoony, like the ones we have in all space. But the flip side of that, we keep hearing about digital humans, and I'm sure some of you have seen very photorealistic virtual 3D characters, in the latest movies. And one question we always hear is like, why is this gap? Why are 3D characters sometimes cartoony and sometimes hyper realistic? And today, well, we've got amazing speakers who will tell us more about how avatars and digital humans are created, and what's the difference between the two. And one more thing about our speakers, not only are they very talented people, but they're also joining us from Ukraine today. So I want to take 1 minute to congratulate them and everyone in their country for their bravery in the difficult context. So Sofia, can you please introduce Stas and Andre?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we're so happy to have them join us today. Very meaningful in a lot of ways with the current times that are going on now, knowing that they can still keep up with business in this global economy, as well as the topic that we have to discuss today, which is one of my favorite topics, which is avatars and virtual humans. So we have Stas and Andre from Deep 3D Studio. Welcome, guys, wherever you are. There you go. Hi. And so we'll start out with hi. So we'll start out with I know they have a. We'll start out with a couple questions. I'll guide some conversation just to get things started. I know they have some slides to show also, but please do submit your questions or comments or whatever it is, and raise your hands, because we will be taking questions potentially during the conversation and definitely after as well. So with that, Andre or Stas, if you want to go ahead and just briefly introduce yourselves and what you guys do.
Yeah, sure. So
yes,
hello
I
everyone.
think
Again, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for this amazing opportunity to make a short presentation. Yeah, so actually, yeah, we are a photogrammetry studio based in Ukraine, and we'd like to show you and to tell you more about our avatars and overall picture of avatars in metaverse in VFX.
Stanoso, you need to megaphone.
Yeah, sure, it's on. Yeah, and
On host tools.
yeah, I use it. So we will tell you more about the difference between VFX and metaverse avatars, and of course you can see even some of examples right here. So it's our models we made with our scanner, and you can just see the difference a little bit with all of us here.
yeah, and also my name is Andrew. I'm creative director at Deep 3D Studio, and I will help Stas with his presentation, and I answer some technical questions, and let's move on, I think.
Awesome. And I see we're already getting some hand raises, which is great. So keep them raised and we'll get to you soon. But I'd love for you all to just start with maybe the origin story of avatars as a whole, and maybe why they are a foundational aspect for the coming of the metaverse and why it's important for freedom of expressions.
Yeah, sure. Of course, like avatars, it's a core of any metaverse because all of us need some expression and we need some, I don't know, some shape that will represent ourselves. It could be like a photorealistic one as we are in real life. It could be like some cartoonish one. It could be like anything actually we can just imagine. And the main question may be like what are the restrictions why we right now cannot use all the variety of such avatars. And actually we'd like to tell you why from our expertise, because we spent more than 3 years already making exactly avatars for big movies. I'm sure you saw a lot of them for big brands, fashion ones, and that's why like we know, like we can tell you about it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so
And-
we can start. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I guess talk to us about some of the current capabilities of avatar creation, and I guess you could point to some examples of what you guys are doing to kind of expand those capabilities.
So we, as Stan say, we are photogrammetry studio and we do our avatars based on scan data of real people. So we have like our product side where we scanning people, scanning different like expression, facial emotion, different like poses, and use all this data to make like fully animatable digital character based on it. But most of our like clients use it in VFX like movies and games, and we are thinking about how to optimize our avatars so it can be used in the future in metaverse. How to make it technically like not so heavy and so so everybody can maybe in nearest future can do his own her own avatar based on just photos and represent herself or himself inside metaverse as it in real world. So I think Stan, maybe you have some.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So you can see, for example, here are some of examples of our works. So we classify them like kind of low quality models because we are aiming on like a high quality models, but it's great that we can implement them here. So I'm very grateful for the team of Michelle that they helped us to install them here. So you can actually see from all the sides our 3D models, so our work, and it can be used for any purposes. So right for now, like a static objects, but I think in the nearest future we'll all be able to use them as our own avatars.
Can you guys mentioned photogrammetry? Can you talk a little bit about how that works and what that is? Because I'm sure there's some people in the audience that aren't quite sure what that is.
Sure. I suggest to maybe go through our presentation because we can show everything, so everybody
please
will.
do. Go for it.
Sure. Great. Okay. So the one, I think most of you remember the presentation of Mark Zuckerberg with his Meta when he showed his vision of the metaverse and of course the avatars. And here you can see that he's showing his avatar, which looks kind of cartoonish one. Another one example is, of course, the CEO of NVIDIA. So again, it's an example of some kind of cartoonish one. The same we see ourselves in the mirror. And the main question, of course, for all of us could be when the day will come when we will be able to use such avatars as we can see in the mirror in the metaverse. So it's an example of our work. It's the head of our co-founder Evgeny. On the left you can see his real photo, and on the right you can see the 3D model which was made by us. So you can take a look at all the wrinkles, all the skin pores, all details. It's kind of our hyper-realistic model made with music videos, advertisements. You need to understand the complete difference between VFX and real-time rendering. So here on the screen you can see the result of the rendering. So you need to create a scene in the special software, rendering software, and just to wait while your processor will make everything for you. And real-time rendering is completely another story. When everything is happening actually in real time, yeah, using your graphic processor, so it needs more power, and it's like a lot of restrictions come in using like this real-time rendering. Artspace VR is an example of Unity software. So there are two game engines. I think you related to them, like it's Unreal and Unity. So Unity is more focused on mobile devices. They're low quality models that can easily open on kind of, for example, mobile phones, kind of big variety of the devices. And that's why like most of us right here are looking kind of such cartoonish way, because these models are not so heavy as we see on the screen right now. And Unreal, for example, is more focused on heavy models. So Epic Games move fast in creating amazing quality content, and actually that's why it's only a matter of time, I can say, when hardware will upgrade, and of course software somehow we will be able to use them. Drew, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just want to mention that Yevgen is already here. One of you is Yevgen, our co-founder on the screen. So he is like our demo model. We can send everybody this sample, so you can check quality by yourself inside your render, inside your system, and give us some feedback, maybe.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
our test
We can
model,
move
so
forward.
actually everybody could use it and test it. So just write to us, and we will just give this opportunity to you. So to get such a model, of course, main question is how you can get it, and it's all based on scans. So here is an example of our scanner. Andrew can tell more about it.
Well, yes, I will tell briefly about our system. So it's look like a portal, but it's our custom-made photogrammetry system based in Kiev, Ukraine. But we have already moved to Lviv. It's like Western cities, and it's more safe for now. And we will continue scanning in the middle of May, I think. So on the left side, it's our past model of full body scanning system with white background. And on the right side, this is like cross polarization system for heads, for scanning only heads. Contain like 86 DSLR Canon cameras, cross polarization filters. So all of this give us opportunity to make high quality 16K textures and high poly model, and we use it as a base for the avatar creation in the future. So we
so
did this
actually you
scan system from scratch, and also we have like some vendors, some studios from all over the world, in London, in California, in South Korea, and connected together. And I think we can scan anyone and process the data locally in Kiev, Ukraine, or like, so it's not a problem. The lack of such a scan system, it's not a problem, I think, in the future.
Yeah. So actually, you can find such scanners almost in all big cities in the world, and it's actually like a close community. So you're able kind of stand is in this portal metaverse and became digital. So it's like a great opportunity actually to dive into metaverse with your own body, and it's really cool. You can also actually also see that the left one is kind of light one and the right one is black. It's because of the different light system. We're experimenting with the best system for the best quality, and we found out that such a black tint is better to achieving like a high quality models. So it's actually an example of to explain you and to show you how everything is happening. So we had such a task, create the first photorealistic view of Benjamin Franklin. I think you all know him mainly from the 100 banknote, and actually he has no pictures at all because he died before the invention of camera. So we had a task to recreate him, make his first photorealistic view in the history, and that's how we actually did it. We made a casting, so we found a guy who is kind of similar to a real Benjamin Franklin with all his shape of the head. We scanned him in our setup, you can see. And then we used his scan as a base to resculpt. So we aimed to make this great looking model. And it's actually a manual.
Yeah, so we have like a big team of character artists and sculptors in real life, and then we use the scan as a base and make all the sculpting manually. Some processes are automatic. In this case, we use like manual sculpting, digital sculpting. And this is like hair recreation. Hair is problematic in digital world, so you create it inside Xgen and then export to Unreal and Unity also.
It's actually manually work too, so all eyelashes, all brows, all hairstyle, they need to make this final render. And you can see like this picture of Benjamin Franklin is on the $100. So
awesome. That's excellent. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. So actually, it's basically most of our work right now. So we are making such avatars for different purposes. This for VFX, for kind of metaverses, for digital art, and the pipeline for most of them are pretty the same in different studios. So we kind of one little wheel is all this machine of creating avatars.
Awesome. Thank you guys. we have about 5 minutes left for QA, so I just wanted to get to a few of the questions that we had from the audience. First, we have Bronco. Bronco, go ahead. Okay, we'll get back to Bronco. Let's go with Zoe. Okay. All
Sorry,
right,
can you hear me?
Yeah, Zoe,
Yes.
we got you.
Oh, sorry. There were a million menu items that came up at once. They were all like overlapping each other. Sorry. Just a second. Thank you so much for this presentation. It's amazing. Yes, yeah, I think that what you kind of touched upon, it's not necessarily a question, but it's more just a commentary about, the certain technology as it stands right now. It's really it takes a lot of processing in order to get these kinds of avatars that are so realistic. But meanwhile, we have these cartoon kind of characters, and the gestures alone, and some of the at least the face tracking and eye tracking are going to be really, I think, you should say almost more important too, because they kind of give us the meaning behind it. So, as much as these are going to be great for gaming and things like that, like what is the timeline, do you think, of seeing these kinds of avatars, across different platforms?
Well, it's depend on the final platform. It's take us about 2 weeks to process one high quality digital avatar, and we usually do like 20 of them, and we understand that to scan everybody in the world and to process everybody in the world using this pipeline is quite hard, but and everybody now working on tools, on hardware and software tools, on how to using around the world. We make like a base knowledge of photo characters, and working together with some software engineers and some combined. We will combine all the solution in one, so everybody can be real in VR soon. Hope so.
But if you allow me one comment, Andre, I think part of the answer you were looking for, Zoe, was you ask like when can we expect this level of quality for avatars on platforms? It's also the short answer, I guess, is hardware processing. Getting to this visual quality requires powerful hardware, and right now, for instance, the headsets that everyone is using, the Quest, is running on a mobile hardware, so it's a kind of the equivalent of the 3D processing power you have on a phone. And you need to get to a place where you've got the rendering power of a supercomputer inside of the form factor of a phone. And that's going to take anywhere from 5 years to, I don't know, something like that. But it's going really quick. So later this year, Apple is going to come out with a headset that has the power of a MacBook Pro inside of the headset. So it's going really quick. I think we are a few years, I would say personally 5, 10, from getting to a place where we can have more realistic avatars for everyone.
Those are both great answers. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. Let's get to another question. We have a lot of them, actually.
I have a more of a philosophical question. Now, the closer we get towards ultra-realistic avatars and ultra-realistic environments, some might call it the uncanny valley, which is almost scary in some ways. What your thoughts are we going towards a direction of separating ourselves from our own humanity? And if so, how do we avoid that from happening with the beauty of this technology?
Well,
this one.
question for me.
I can take it.
I
if you
can
want.
briefly, yeah, please.
Sure, go ahead. No, yeah. So I don't think we're separating ourselves from our humanity at all. I think, like all things, it's yet another tool that's going to be on our tool belt. Like for instance, all of us are connected in this beach house I mean, Asia, Sofia is in Washington, Tas and Andre are in Ukraine, and we are more connected than ever. It's a very human event. And it's just that we are using the latest technology to do that to serve us. And one of the cool things of avatars, for instance, I keep saying that I like to talk with my hand, and you may not have high definition graphics yet, but the way I move and the way I talk for people who know me is very much me. So if anything, I find it's more connected to myself and disjointed. That's my answer.
Breakout rooms
Yeah, I know,
and get to know each other and exchange information
mute yourself,
and see if you can ask questions of each other.
everyone is on mute. Hold on. Michelle, I have an issue over here. I'm in breakout inside of the house and everybody's on mute for some reason. I don't know if you can help us.
Terry?
Yes.
There we go.
Kevin.
Oh,
Perfect. You can hear me now, Terry?
Yes, I can hear
Yes.
you finally. Fantastic.
I was trying to
All right.
send messages. I'm like, I don't have any way to unmute.
wanna find a group of people?
Sorry about that, guys. I'm glad I can hear you. So, Kevin, do you
All
want
good.
to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Kevin Paquin. I work
Game
for
either
Online
way.
Business Systems. We're
Rather
a
than
digital
trying to do things
transformation and
with sign language.
cybersecurity company.
For everyone. Is your event looking like the real you, or does it have to be more different?
My God, congratulations.
It's about
that's
as
so
close as I
exciting.
can get, I guess.